Have you ever wondered why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? It's a question that has intrigued philosophers, economists, and sociologists for centuries. Could the answer lie not in the physical world of money and possessions, but in the unseen realm of our minds? Welcome to the fascinating world of wealth and mindset. It's a world where your thoughts mold your financial reality, where your mental attitudes can be the architect of your wealth or the cause of your poverty. It's a world where the rich and the poor live by different mental scripts, each with its own set of beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors concerning money and success. This is the realm of the rich mindset versus the poor mindset, a dichotomy that can shape not just your bank balance, but your entire life. It's a concept that's both simple and profound, and it's one that we'll be exploring in depth. Understanding these different mindsets might just be the key to unlocking your own wealth. Let me share a tale of two individuals, John and Peter, who grew up in the same neighborhood under the same conditions. John and Peter were childhood friends, living in identical homes, attending the same school, and playing on the same streets. But as they grew older, their attitudes towards money and wealth started to diverge, painting starkly contrasting pictures of their future financial states. John was always a big-picture thinker. He saw money as a tool, a means to an end. He believed in investing, in making his money work for him. Even as a teenager, he would save his pocket money to invest in small ventures, always looking for opportunities to grow his wealth. He wasn't afraid of taking calculated risks and understood that to win big, you sometimes have to lose. Peter, on the other hand, was more of a live-in-the-moment kind of guy. He saw money as a ticket to immediate gratification. His focus was on spending rather than saving or investing. He sought comfort in the present, often at the cost of his future. The idea of risk unnerved him, and he preferred the safety of the known over the uncertainty of the new. As they stepped into adulthood, these differing attitudes began to shape their lives. John, with his investment mindset, slowly but steadily built a financial cushion. His willingness to take risks and his focus on the future paid off. He experienced financial freedom, not bound by the chains of living paycheck to paycheck. Peter, however, found himself stuck in a cycle of earning and spending, with no real growth in his wealth. His fear of risk and his focus on immediate comfort left him living paycheck to paycheck, always just one emergency away from financial disaster. Their paths diverged dramatically, not because of their circumstances, but because of their mindsets. John, who became wealthy, adopted what we can call a rich mindset. John wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He came from humble beginnings, but what set him apart was his mindset. He possessed a rich mindset, a perspective on life that differentiated him from the rest. His story is a testament to the power of this mindset, and we can learn a lot from his journey. The first characteristic of a rich mindset that John embraced was the value of self-education. He didn't rely on traditional schooling alone to shape his future. Instead, he took it upon himself to learn, to grow, to expand his horizons. He read books about finance, attended seminars, and sought out mentors. He understood that the more he knew, the better decisions he could make, and the more control he'd have over his life. Next, John was unafraid to take risks. While others shied away from challenges, he embraced them. He saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. He wasn't reckless, he was calculated. He understood that risk is a part of growth, and he was willing to step out of his comfort zone to achieve his goals. Thirdly, John had a long-term vision. He didn't seek instant gratification. He was willing to make sacrifices in the present for the sake of his future. He invested in assets, not liabilities. He understood that real wealth is built over time, not overnight. Lastly, John had financial intelligence. He didn't just work for money, he made money work for him. He understood the power of investing and compounding. He knew how to manage, multiply, and protect his wealth. He could differentiate between good debt and bad debt. His financial intelligence was a crucial part of his rich mindset. John's wealth was not a product of luck, but a result of his rich mindset. It was his approach to life, his perspective, his choices, and his actions that led him to prosperity. It's not about where you start, but where you're headed and the mindset you adopt on your journey. On the other hand, Peter, who remained in poverty, embodied a poor mindset. If we delve into Peter's story, we might find that his perspective towards money and wealth was quite different from that of his wealthy counterpart. Peter had a tendency to avoid risk, a common trait of a poor mindset. He feared the unknown, which led him to shy away from opportunities that carried even the slightest hint of risk. Instead of exploring new avenues for wealth creation, he chose to stick with what he knew, even if it meant barely making ends meet. Lack of financial education was another characteristic that defined Peter's poor mindset. He didn't understand the concept of investing or the power of compound interest. He lived paycheck to paycheck, saving nothing and investing less. The idea of growing his wealth was alien to him. All he knew was how to work hard to earn money, but not how to make his money work hard for him. And then there was Peter's short-term thinking. Unlike his wealthy counterpart, Peter was always focused on the immediate. He wanted quick fixes and instant gratification. He failed to understand that wealth is not built overnight. It requires patience, perseverance, and a long-term vision. Lastly, Peter held on to the belief that money is the root of all evil. He saw wealth as something to be feared, not embraced. He associated money with greed and corruption, failing to see its potential as a tool for change, progress, and personal growth. In the end, Peter's financial struggles were not a result of his circumstances. He was not poor because he was unlucky or because the system was against him. His poverty was the outcome of his poor mindset, his fear of risk, his lack of financial education, his short-term thinking, and his negative perception of money. Peter's financial struggles were not a result of his circumstances, but his poor mindset. John and Peter started from the same point, but their mindsets took them to different destinations. Isn't it intriguing how two individuals, starting from the same point, can end up in such different places? The answer lies in their mindset. It's like a compass, guiding every decision, every action, every reaction. John chose a mindset of wealth. He saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. He invested in knowledge, understanding that it's the most reliable path to financial freedom. He embraced change, risk, and uncertainty, knowing that these are the stepping stones to success. Peter, on the other hand, chose a mindset of scarcity. He viewed the world through a lens of limitation. He shied away from risk, preferring the comfort of certainty over the uncertainty of change. He held on to money tightly, fearing to lose it rather than investing it to create more. Now, let's reflect on our own mindsets. Are we more like John or Peter? Are we embracing opportunities or shying away from them? Are we investing in our knowledge and growth, or are we content with where we are? And most importantly, are we satisfied with where our current mindset is leading us? If we are not, then it's time for a change. You see, our mindset isn't a fixed entity, it's a choice. We can choose to view the world through a lens of abundance or a lens of scarcity. We can choose to embrace change and risk or to shy away from them. We can choose to invest in our growth or to remain stagnant. This choice is incredibly powerful. It can mean the difference between a life of wealth and a life of scarcity. It can mean the difference between financial freedom and financial struggle. So let's make a conscious decision today. Let's choose a mindset of wealth. Let's choose to see opportunities, to embrace change and risk, to invest in our knowledge and growth. Let's choose to be like John, not Peter. Remember, your mindset is a choice, and it's never too late to choose wealth. So what can we learn from John and Peter's stories? In essence, their stories highlight the stark contrast between the rich and poor mindset. John, with his wealthy mindset, sees opportunities where others see obstacles. He invests in his future and understands that wealth is a journey, not a destination. He views failure not as a setback, but as a stepping stone to success. On the other hand, Peter's poor mindset focuses on immediate gratification, often at the expense of long-term prosperity. He views wealth as a finite resource and fears failure, which ultimately holds him back. These stories underscore the pivotal role that mindset plays in wealth creation. It's not just about making money, but how you think about money, how you manage it, and how you multiply it. In the grand scheme of things, it's not just about the money in your bank account, but the wealth of knowledge, resilience, and positivity in your mind. Remember, wealth isn't about the money in your bank account, it's about the mindset in your head.